What's up everybody, Derek here, and today we are out on the chipping greens and I'm going to show you two of the easiest ways to learn to chip. Now, there's so many instructional videos out there that are going to teach you how to chip, how to use a 60 wedge and get that correct loft and all of that. And yes, a 60 wedge, like this one I've got right here, can definitely help you out by getting that loft and getting that back spin and putting the ball where you want to. But the one thing that they don't talk about is the amount of practice it takes to excel at one of these 60 degree, 52, 56. And to get that loft and that degree up there, because it's so easy to flush one, sell it over the green if you teeth it right on that edge. And it takes a certain lie to actually know what to do, when to use this, and how to use it. So it takes a difficulty level way up there. So a lot of practice for one of these, but it is useful when you have the correct lie. So as you see, we got this nice Bermuda. It's about a 1 inch thick. And whenever it sits down, just about like that, with that amount of layer of being able to get under there, you can really get under the ball and get that loft under it. So the amount of attack, I was teaching some kids the other day, and they had square club faces. They didn't even know the correct grip, but I told them to open the club face just a little bit, and quickly they were chipping onto the green. And they told me that they have not personally watched any videos on the internet that had successfully taught them the correct way in the under 5 minutes little tutorial that I gave them on chipping. And so this is kind of a little beginner's guide on how to get them up on the green. So we got right pin, that one's like 32 and the left pin is 36, and I've got two of them here. I've got basically what is a pitching wedge, but it's actually a 44 degree, and then I've got my Callaway 60 degree. And as you see, look, they're square right there, but look at the degree. Look at the degree on these. This one definitely takes a lot more practice to get used to, and it has a certain follow through that you have to learn to get the correct backspin. Now this one, when you don't have bunkers and you don't have water hazards, you don't have anything to clear like we've got right here, look, perfect bump and run situation. You could hit it just like a putt, so no different than a putting stroke, just basically pendulum, that's all it is. And you learn quarter, half, 3/4, full. So with the pitching wedge like this, or a 44, you can basically learn which one of these goes to a certain distance. So however you want to do it, but if you can learn the different distances for this iron, you can learn to bump and run. So I'm gonna try one right here. I'm gonna try to go for this one closest pin, which is harder. You want a short-sighted, which means a lot less on the front that you're actually trying to bump and run it up to. It's a lot harder, but I've got a good amount, and that is 30. So I know, let's see, it's gonna be about 1/4 for me. So let's see if I'm right in this. I haven't warmed up or hit one. This is my first ball to hit today. Kind of runs left a little. Oh, it ran past. Maybe 10-foot putt downhill right there. I mean, that's my first one, and that was 1/4. So now that I've learned that, let's do it again. Go a little bit less. Landed on the fringe. Now it's 10 foot this other side. So we're narrowing it down. And that's how you can do a bump and run. Very easy. Let's try it again. Gave it a little more. Oh, I went a little right that time. My follow through wasn't right, but I mean, dispersion as that goes, if you're, let's say you're on your second or third shot and you can get it within that close, you may have a birdie shot, whereas you could be flushing over the green, and it gets simplified a lot more. A lot of the golf instructors and other people who are teaching these things make it way too difficult for a lot of us. We got to dumb it down and take it to the simplest level. Stop trying to be a pro and just try to get it up there. Let's try it one last time. And that was my duffed one. Everyone does it. All right. Now we're gonna go into the 60. And as we see, we got our balls here, but the idea behind this, that's a square club face. You want it, the squareness pointing towards the flag, which would be, if it was square right here, the flag would be right here. So you want it like that. But if you turn it just a hair, it doesn't have to be much. With the 60, it's already got the degree of loft. And you pull it forward, straight arm kind of like this, you can de-loft it, or you can give it more loft if you decide to. So let's see here. I know my yardages with this in just a regular swing, quarter, about right there, 10 yards, half, 20, 3/4, 30. And then obviously my full would be a 40-yard chip shot. So since we're at 30, let's see how well this works, if I can do it correctly. I got it square, now I just turn it just a hair. It doesn't take much at all. Now in bunkers and other stuff, I'm just barely turning it that much right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with my pitching technique. It's a putting stroke. But a lot of times, if you can learn it, you can learn the release and rise just a little bit, and you can get perfect loft and good. And the backspin aspect is sliding under. That creates the backspin. But if you want a simple way of learning how to chip, okay, this is my 30 yards, so that's my 3/4. So that's it. Let's see if I can do it effectively. All right. And I don't aim left, I don't aim right, I aim straight at it with my feet aligned. Open the club face just a hair, and I make sure that I follow through just like that. Too little. This is where you learn. So I'm gonna de-loft it a little bit to get a little more distance, open the club face, and now let's try it, 3/4. Two-foot putt. That's what I'm talking about. And with this one particularly, if you're trying to get that backspin, these grooves or these edges really need to be cleaned. Now, I need to clean this one. I did a session last night, but to really clean these up, you'll get more backspin. And if it's wet, no backspin hardly at all. All right, let's try it again. 3/4. That's about a foot. One last one. And all I'm doing is I'm following through, straight at it. If you were to shoot a basketball and the rim's right there, I'm following through. I'm following through. Free throws. These are free throws. So all you gotta do is whenever you hit it, follow through at what you're aiming at. Same principle. Okay, here we go. Oh, I didn't get enough of that one. Let's try it. Maybe 5-6 foot from the pin. That's awesome. But anyways, these two clubs, if you use these to your advantage, maybe you've got a bunker to chip over, a water hazard, a tree, something you got to get some loft on, you can get a ton of loft with one of these 60s. And then for the bump and run, if you're good at putting and you know how to run the greens and give it just a little bit, this one can really help your game out too. This improved my game big time because I wasn't perfect with this yet and I didn't have confidence in it. I'm starting to gain confidence now. So I'm going to my 60 almost all the time. And the bump and run every once in a while. And those 100-yard shots with this pitching wedge, I have the same principle that I do of a bump and run. So I hit it short and it runs up there. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like this, and like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.